Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from Greco Financial Training, and this is a video just to kind of introduce you to how to prepare for your exam and what kind of things you should be doing as you go forward to prepare for your exam. So there's several tools you might have acquired from Greco Financial Training, and in this hopefully we'll know better on how to best use those tools to get you past your exam. Okay, so first there's a textbook. 2, you might have gotten our online question bank. Or 3, access to our online on-demand course through our Greco SurePass Online Academy. Now, assuming you got all 3 of these materials, the place that I recommend that you begin is with the Greco Online Academy. Okay, the reason being is that when we teach a course, again, we teach it designed to like all levels of learning, and we design it to really help sure that you understand the concepts and the ideas here, okay? And we specially design our course in an order that sort of narratively makes more sense. So it doesn't always follow the book in the exact order that the book covers it in, but in the order that we think tells sort of the best story to make it the most memorable to you. So what I would do is watch the entire online course first, okay? And then when you go to the Greco SurePass Online Academy, you have several tools. Not only do you have the video lectures, which are animated, color-coded, all that, but you also have access to an audio version of each lecture. You will have access to the PDFs of each lecture if you just want to kind of read them over. You'll have access to a workbook you can print out to help you flow through with each lecture. Okay, as you'll notice that the course is broken up into different sections, and you'll find those in each section of that course. Now, in the very final bottom section of each course is an extra section with a bunch of extra supplemental materials. You'll find flashcards, okay, where you can just kind of go over terminology and just get acquainted with terminology. There are notes briefs that approach certain topics and sort of breaks it down in sort of a Cliff Notes style, and other supplemental information and videos and resources in these supplemental sections, always the last section of the course. So go through all of that. Mainly make sure you watch all the videos, because what it'll do is it'll give you a strong foundation going forward, making reading the book and doing the questions online a lot easier. But once you've completed the online class and gotten your nice foundation in the information, the next step would be to read the book. That's why we always say notebook, textbook, questions. Notebook being the notes you get from taking the class, textbook being reading the book, questions being questions to basically cement all that information. So the approach I would take is always read chapter 1 first. So just go through the book, read chapter 1, and then you'll go onto the online question bank and generate quizzes in that chapter. And I would recommend you like 20, 30 question quizzes at a time. So this way you can do several of them, and this way you can see your scores improve. And what you want to do is always make sure you set it up where it shows you your answers as you go along, because you want to look at the correct answer while the question is fresh in your head. Okay, and feel free to use your notes from the course, if you've written them down and printed out those workbook sheets, as a guide, or think of them as open note quizzes. You can refer to your notes as you do the quiz. It allows you to tie the visuals and the lecture from the class to questions. So that way it creates a link that on test day will make it easier to recall that information on test day. So basically, again, watch all the videos, watch the entire class, read a chapter, then do questions on that chapter, and you keep repeating questions in that chapter till you're averaging about 80s in that chapter. Then you'll move on to chapter 2, read chapter 2, do questions in chapter 2, and you keep doing this until you've completed every chapter. Once you've completed every chapter in the book, then you will do simulated exams. We generally recommend doing about 17 simulated exams. The reason being is you want to make sure you've seen every permutation of every question, because you don't want day of the test to be the one question that throws you off, that prevents you from passing, being the one question you never got to because you didn't do enough questions. So 17 simulated exams is what we recommend, and at this point, now that you've done everything else we've just discussed, you should have a pretty strong, solid foundation of the information, a pretty strong understanding of how to approach questions. So about 17 exams, you should be averaging in around the 80s, mid 80s come the end of those 17 exams. And that's a sign that you're ready to take the exam. Okay, so again, watch videos over there on the online Greco SurePass Academy. I would just kind of watch the whole thing straight through first, then chapter 1, quizzes on chapter 1. Chapter 2, quizzes on chapter 2. Once you've done all the chapters, go online, do simulated exams, at least 17, goal being a score of mid-80s. If you do that, you should have a pretty almost certain chance of going into that exam and passing. Okay? Don't take any shortcuts. Don't just rush to simulated exams, because then the information is going to be much more disorganized in your mind. Do watch the class. It's going to make life a lot easier. If you don't have the class, then read chapter 1, do questions in chapter 1, etc. But if you don't have the class, I do highly recommend picking it up. It is worthwhile. The jokes, the stories, the acronyms, the humor will definitely make everything come much more alive. Okay, but you do got to make sure you do all three. If you have all three: notebook, textbook, questions. Notebook, textbook, questions. If you don't have the class, then textbook and questions. Questions by itself will not get you past this test. Textbook by itself will not get you past this test. So hopefully this advice will help you in preparing for your exam. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Have a great day. This is Alex from Greco Financial Trading.